Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Tales with TR, episode 283A, getting up there. There we go. So, Paul McCartney was awesome. Habs game, awesome, even though they lost 3-2. Some fisticuffs. It was very entertaining. And yeah, nothing but good to say about that trip. Coming now, tomorrow I leave. Shoresy hockey. We're going to play in 2 nights from now. We'll be playing the Detroit Red Wings alumni in Detroit and at, what's the name? Little Caesars, right? Arena? I believe, the main arena there. And then we'll be in Toronto, Scotiabank Arena. That's on the 28th of November. Then I'm going to come back for a few days. Then we're off to New York, the Islanders, the Bruins, and then LA, the LA Kings in Los Angeles on December 14th. So looking forward to it. I've been traveling a ton, as you guys know, but these are my, it's hard to say my favorite. People ask me, what are your favorite trips to go on? A lot of you guys that message. I don't know if I have a favorite, like I rarely get to go on vacation. I suppose this past weekend, going to see Paul McCartney and a Habs Bruins with my daughter and some friends. That's a vacation, of course. But I mean, it started with a work gig. Rarely do I just up and go, and I just don't have the time. But the thing is, I'm traveling all the time with quote unquote work. And it is work, whatever. If I'm acting or I'm doing a fundraiser, which is a lot of public speaking, a lot of these are fundraisers. And I get to travel. I mean, you might laugh when I say I love traveling to small town Canada and a place like Macklin, Saskatchewan, or Guelph, Ontario, or Halifax, Nova Scotia, Fort St. John, BC, Black Falls, Alberta, and on and on. These places are, I'm not going to lie and say they're as fun and fulfilling. Well, maybe as fulfilling, but they're not as fun and relaxing as Cancun or somewhere, I don't know, Bermuda, Bahamas, fucking wherever on the beach. Italy, Spain, there you go. Those are my favorite things to do when vacationing somewhere where the weather is nice. I like going somewhere that I can learn something. So rather than an all-inclusive, maybe the beaches of Italy or Spain, and this happens like once every bunch of years. I used to get to go there with ball hockey. By the way, congrats to the men, the Masters, Team Canada, of which I was a part of in 18 and 23. We won it, and brought a tear to my eye to watch the boys win it again this year. So a lot of them are my friends. But I've moved on, of course, but it was great. Canada, they won a big, close game, 2-1 in the final down in Bermuda. A lot of my good buddies, 5 Newfoundlanders on the team. Congrats, boys. But yeah, outside. So I used to travel a lot with ball hockey to places like that. Now most of my fundraisers and stuff are in Canada, Northern United States. We do get to go down south a little bit, but I've got it great. I couldn't ask for anything better. I really couldn't. I don't need vacations my whole life to places that are far and tropical. I'll get there. I'll definitely get there. But, seeing my daughter, when Paul McCartney walked out on that stage, and we're huge, like my buddy Blair Downey and Chris Pettigrews, my 2 buddies I went with, and we've been Beatles fans since single digits, man, like since way back. We've known each other, and Blair Downey, we call him Mario because of his hockey prowess. He has a daughter, McKenna, and her and Penny Lane are in the same age, in the same school, in the same classes. So, and Mario's son is named Jude, so we brought Jude and McKenna. And, we don't push the Beatles on our kids, as I said, but over the years, and her name is Penny Lane, and we've listened and we've gone back and forth. And the Beatles' message is largely love and creativity. It's a message that resonates with kids as well as adults. So it was so emotional. She knew all the songs, of course. But my point is, I wasn't taking Penny Lane to just say, here, you should learn this guy. This is Paul McCartney, and your name is Penny Lane. And he wrote one of those songs, the song Your Namesake. He wrote that song, with John Lennon, of course, but it's not me forcing that on her. She knew all the songs like I did. She knew all the words like I did. He played a bunch of Paul McCartney stuff, a bunch of Wings stuff, then of course a lot of Beatles stuff. So it was honestly, it was over fucking whelming, and I would have rather be there in seats 5 and 6, row double E on the floor, seeing Paul McCartney, than the most luxurious beachfront destination on the planet. Really? You don't have to come up with one because it doesn't matter. I would rather be there with my daughter in that moment. So, and these trips, I mean, a lot of them most of them I'm getting paid for, right? Unless it's a vacation. So that's why I love doing the fundraisers. So people ask me, just go to my site, www.terryryan.ca. And a lot of what I do falls under the umbrella of Jackson Events, right? Jackson Events, Andrew Jackson with Jackson Events. Bob Clark, Jeff Ellett, they have great people there working for them. And that's who I hitch my horse to when I can. Is that a saying, hitch my horse to? I mean, I guess I'm making it one. These are great people. Of course, we get paid. We make whatever foundation it is that brings us in, that and then some, usually, many times over. Meaning it's they're good-natured fundraisers. They're celebrating hockey culture for charitable events that are very important to most of us. All of us, really. I mean, events like Easter Seals and cancer and homelessness and Alzheimer's, like these things affect everyone, if not directly, indirectly. And so that's why I enjoy doing it, right? Make a little bit of a buck, and you're making a foundation a lot of a buck kind of thing. So, and you meet people, and, I'll always get to, I'm sure I must indirectly sell some books through that. And, people, their eyes are on Shoresy a little bit, maybe, I just spread the good word, man, spread the good word. But yeah, a lot of people ask me, so just go to my site for any of that, for any merchandise, books, or any, if you want me for a public speech or an event or anything, there you go. Right now I got to check on my guest. I'm Jerry St. Cyr on this week, an old Western Hockey League legend, and legend in many ways. Minor league pro for half a decade, won a couple of championships. Married Manon Rhéaume, the legendary female goalie that broke down barriers for many female players that came after her. They've got a kid together who played goal. I'd like to pick his brain on that. We're going to talk a little Western Hockey League, and we'll be out. Speaking of these Shoresy games, a lot of people are inquiring. We play the NHL teams, as far as I know, and I have nothing to do with the planning. So I appreciate all the emails, but I have nothing, and DMs, I have nothing to do with the planning. If you'd like us to get to come to your city, right, as the Shoresy team, right now we've only been doing NHL alumni. If you want a few of us to come, myself and Dolo have done lots of events. We did one just a few weeks ago in Grand Prairie. When I told you guys about going to the Jays game there, Game 6, it was awesome. But that's where we were. When I said I got the call and I was about to go on stage, it was with Dolo in Grand Prairie, right? So we do a lot of these events. I know Andrew does a lot of them, McD, Ryan McDonald. So we'll come in and play a game, and we'll give a speech. We'll do whatever you want us to do. Well, to a point, I suppose. But there's a fee attached. Usually it's very manageable. And, we'll, like I said, they're fundraisers. So people wouldn't bring us in and give us a fee if we weren't going to make fucking 10 times that money back. But that's how it works. To get the actual Shoresy with the Blueberry Bulldog jerseys and that whole production, that's very much a New Metric Media thing. It's way above my pay grade. I speak when spoken to and show up and within reason, do what they ask, right? Great group. And the Sudbury Blueberry Bulldogs family goes beyond just what you see on the ice. Just like any fucking hockey team, right? Anything. We run it. We run a good ship, tight ship, and appreciate everybody that comes along. That was a really bad sentence. We appreciate anybody that comes along. Not really true. Appreciate anybody that comes along. I mean, sometimes I don't really sit back and think about the words that come out of my mouth. How can anybody keep listening to this podcast when I say shit like that? We appreciate anybody that comes along. Anybody that comes along. I don't know about that. So I will correct myself. We appreciate all the support from the awesome fans that we have all over Canada, North America, and the rest of the world. It's been an absolute blast to go on tour and connect with some of the not only Shoresy fans, but hockey fans, and that just want to celebrate whether it's a great night out with us or just the hockey culture in general, or your alumni team. I mean, it's a fucking thrill for us, man. Like, we go into Detroit and, that's 2 days from now. I get jacked up for it. Playing some of our favorite players. Like, I often say to people, like, I know Darren McCarty, okay? I went to camps with Darren. We both had to work on our skating. We went to a girl named Laura Stam in the early 90s. I was like 14 or 15. Darren was in his first year pro, so he must be 6 or 7 years older than me. But like a lot of people probably listening know I played in the NHL, but they don't know the way I played. I mean, I talk about my favorite players. Look, Lemieux, Gretzky, Steve Yzerman, talking about Detroit. Like, it's hard not to love these guys, right, as a player. And I know I went in the top 10. Like, so obviously I could put the puck in the net, but I didn't do it the way Mario Lemieux did it, or Gretzky or Lemieux. I mean, the odd time, yeah. I mean, you're going to have hockey IQ and it's going to go in the net. But my instincts were more Darren McCarty-like. Okay, so like when I watched hockey, that's why people think just because I know Chris Nyland, I'm saying, oh, he used to be my favorite player. No, he was. There was even as like an atom hockey player in Pee Wee, where there's no hitting or fighting, obviously. But I don't know. I just knew that given what was in me, I could be really successful. I really did know that. I don't know if I really thought about it realistically, because there was a bit of an inferiority complex as a young Newfoundlander from a small province that hadn't played much away. But wherever my capabilities were going to max out, wherever that potential was going to max, I knew it might be on the like Darren McCarty, Chris Nyland side of things. In Pee Wee, again, we didn't throw a hit. We won the All Newfoundland by a ton. I was a blue chip prospect. I'm not bragging. I know, you ask anybody around. I mean, I was big. I was really big, almost the size I am now. So in Pee Wee, you would have, I keep going back to that because that's when I would have been rated like one of the best in Canada, for sure. I'm not saying that. You go back and do the fucking homework. Check it out on YouTube, the stories that were done, all of that. But again, so if you're rated that high, you would think that automatically, you're scoring a lot of goals, so you're probably going to play like this goal scorer. But no, I looked at those guys. I just realistically didn't ever think that wherever I ended up, whether it was the American League, junior, fucking junior C, whatever it was when I was a kid, 12, 13, 14, 15, getting older, 15. Now I know I'm going to Tri-Cities now. But still, and even in my draft year, when I was getting those points, 50 goals and all that shit, I wasn't thinking Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, right? I loved the way they played. I respected it. If you had asked me then, I probably would have said one of them technically was my favorite player, because every single time they put on their skates, every single time that you turned on the TV and Wayne Gretzky or Mario Lemieux were playing, and of course, I'm not counting out Jaromir Jagr or Pat LaFontaine or Fleury or any of those. I'm just saying, with those two magical men that were skating around on the ice, getting way more points every single year than everybody else, way more than everybody else, way more. Well, it was hard not to be in love, right? Now, was I going to take my game and craft it after that? No. I realistically could see that these guys were on another level. And even though I was a kid, I'd probably be more successful playing the Darren McCarty style of game. And Chris Nyland is older. Rick Tocchet, Cam Neely, there you go. Cam Neely was probably the epitome of what I wanted to be. Did I end up being it? No. But in junior, relative terms, I did. Right, 50 goals in junior, 25 fights that year, I think, 207 minutes without 10. So I think it was 25 fights. That was Cam Neely-like. Could I have done that in the NHL? Probably not, right? I know that when you go in the top 10, people probably think, oh, there's a chance. Look, I sat there. I got egg all over my face. It didn't turn out like I wanted it to. Now, that was more because of injury. But Cam Neely getting 50 goals in 200 minutes in the NHL was like, to me, like the top of the totem pole that I probably would never reach, but I would want to play like that. Like, I think I could have achieved 20 goals and definitely 200 minutes. That's just 200 minutes is the easy part of that equation. You can't make yourself get 20 NHL goals. I think I could have done it. We'll never know. But I'm just giving you an idea of who my favorite players were and why. Why wouldn't I do that? That's it for 283A. We're going to have Jerry St. Cyr here for B, I think. I mean, Jerry's not getting back to me, so I hope so. If not, I'll call one of my ringers, Sam Mann or Ken Reed or one of those. But point is, thank you for listening. And we're going to, coming after Christmas, there's going to be a few changes, and I'm going to announce a new, I'm going to do a new kind of side podcast. It's going to be called Straight Shooter. And this is going to be more, not always hockey oriented. We're going to have some musicians on. I know the Sheepdogs. I know we're looking at legends. Well, the Sheepdogs are legends, but we're top of the talk totem poles. Brian Adams there. So we've approached Brian. It's really early, but I figure I might as well announce it and just check my Instagram. And of course, Christmas is coming. If you want to book or merch or any of that, just check my site. Okay, if you're downtown St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador, why not check out the Bull and Barrel, Trinity Pub, TJ's Pub, Rob Roy Confusion, Martini Bar, of course, Greensleeve. If you're going to bite to eat, why not check out Loose Tie, Blue on Water, Wedgwood Cafe, who also do catering. If you want to work out, strength and balance for the body and mind can be found on Rope Walk Lane, Ryan Power. Great, awesome guy, great knowledge, good person. Check it out, Ryan Power, Power Conditioning. 2 locations of Mr. Lube right here in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. One's on Torbay Road, the other is on Kenmount Road. Live, Laugh, Lube. Crown Cabinets, just because. Creative closets and doors. Smart storage, beautiful space. Check them out, Creative Closets and Doors. True Hockey, take what's yours, folks. Be back in just a couple of days with more. Be back real soon with more Tales with TR. Thanks for listening.